Welcome back to part 2 of the Tesla overlanding under biking camping trailer build. Hope you enjoyed the first part and now enjoy the second. Alright, so I finished doing the measurements and I realized that because I want my fridge to be able to come out of here, this table has to go up, I think 4 to 6 inches, whatever it is. And I need to be able to extend this gap to be basically, I measured it to be 26 by 26, I'm thinking. So that will be able, I don't know which fridge I'm gonna get at this time. So it's either gonna be the Dometic or ARB, but to be able to fit both, because one is a lot taller than the other, and then one is a lot wider than the other. So just in case I wanna change it out and I wanna be able to put a slide, we're gonna have to widen this up quite a bit. So that means for sure this is now coming out. This is now going up. So we're gonna get started on that. But one of the things I wanna do first is the steel I have is longer than my garage, as you can see. So I'm gonna get all the measurements I can to get that to at least be to here so I can shut this door and start heating up this garage. It's absolutely cold out here today. What I ended up doing was I figured out my height that I'm gonna need and cut those pieces out of my lawn so I could shut the door and start getting it warmed up in here. So what I did was I built what will be the foundation for my door. So I think this is gonna be the size of my door. I had to cut it down. This is only 23 inches now, and it goes 26 up. And what I did was the foundation of the frame will be here and also here. So these are gonna be welded together, obviously, to make a door. And so something like that. So then I mocked up instead of just estimating, because I don't want it to be off. And I had to cut this metal. So I tried to do as best I could. The frame of the trailer is gonna look like this. So this is representative of the trailer frame. And then this one is the door. So what that is, imagine that being right here. So I'm gonna cut all this out, possibly, we'll see how it goes. And it's gonna come, the door is gonna go literally right to here. It was gonna be 26 by 26, but I had to cut it out because I don't have that much space between this fender. I would like to not have to cut it out because I sure don't wanna build a new one, and I definitely don't wanna buy any fenders offline. I'm hoping that a full-size wheel can fit in that, even though I highly doubt it, but hopeful that I can fit one in there without that. I may even have to just like rebuild it somehow. But anyway, back to this. Next, what I'm gonna do is figure out how I'm gonna get this off by myself so that I can start cutting all these poles out, cut out this base. It now needs to go up, the difference between this door, because everything's revolving around that. So I cut those out. And I think that at this point, I do have the tent off. I just laid it on this table here. I have the poles off. I know how much I need to drop it. So at this point, I also know how much I need to raise it. So I need more space here on the front, on this front. So I think I'm gonna cut this out and then put it outside so that I can get that space I need back. And now I'll have to figure out a new way to lay that, because right now it's on an L beam. I mean, it's on an angle iron. So I'll fix that up too, figure out how I'm gonna do that so I can get all the inches that I need right there. All right, here's our current progress. I got most of the poles chopped off. I think I'm gonna leave these two. I'll have the other two put back on, but I need to put them on the outside. So I'm cutting off this pole here and here. But before I do that, I wanna weld in this cross member I made right here. So once it's on, it'll look like this. So I'm gonna weld this on both sides, and then I'll get back to you after. All right, I got the weld in there. I haven't cleaned it up or anything, but that's the weld here. Got another one there, another one behind here and there. So I gotta flip for the other sides, but that's the weld. All right, there we go with the other weld in. Looks like, you know, needs to be ground out, but all good. I have it mounted on my other weld here, and I'm gonna flip it over and finish the rest. All right, so I got the tops welded in, welded right here. Now I cut the sides out of here. So basically cut these pieces out, took out those L brackets and replaced them with this steel. So I cut those out, welded them back in, and I'll clean everything up later. But for now, another thing is this is just way stronger than it was before. There's like no give or flex in here. The only place that still I have to fix is this piece. It's a little wobbly, but this also doesn't have the cross beam. And the L bracket down here is pretty weak. So I'm gonna take that out. That was gonna be my door, but again, there's a lot I've learned since I first made this trailer. So that's coming out. I'm gonna fix this back end right here. Even this slide-in shit is coming out. I'm cutting that all the way out. Once I cut it out, I have hinges that'll arrive tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do is cut this down. I went with 7 inches lower, so I'm gonna cut these down, and then I'm gonna weld the cross beams in next. All right, at this point, I have both of them cut down. I'm trying to figure out how I wanted to make the top of this box. And since I decided to reuse these poles, since the two backs were welded in to a point where I didn't feel like trying to get it out. It was welded in too good, and I just didn't feel like dealing with it. But I have these in, so now I'm trying to do these cross beams, and I want it to be a square. So what I was thinking about doing is doing a pole from here, from side to side, and then one from here, so that it'll all be level and it'll all fill in this box. And I know it's gonna look kind of dumb, but we're gonna just go ahead and try it. It is what it is at this point. And since these are facing different directions, what I was gonna do is just fill that box in just like this. And it's gonna go across. And then my other one is going to go, you know, just square it off. We'll see how this works. It's not what I wanna do, but I don't feel like sitting here trying to figure out a better route. It's what's gonna happen today. Well, I guess when you build as you go along, these are some of the things that happen, but I didn't want to use the poles that I pulled off right there. So I decided to go with these skinnier twos. And what I did was I just did 2 going this way and then 2 going that way. And since these are rotated, this doesn't have as much space as these that were going the other way. So what I'm gonna do is just stick a pole through, and they're just gonna sit flush, and we're gonna call that a day. I might have them sit on something, but I doubt it. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's what I'll do. I'll cut some of this. I'll cut some of that larger angle iron right there, and I'll weld it to the side and let it sit on there, and then I'll weld it across so it'll be just like this. So what I'm gonna do is, these are just kind of tacked in right now. I'm gonna clean them up, finish welding them all the way through. I'm gonna do the other side, and then we should have a box. Once that's cleaned up, I should be able to put the tent back on so I can get my space back in the garage. So that's the plan. Let's keep building. All right, I got the top welded on, and although it was not exactly what I was thinking or what I thought I had in mind, it's actually worked out great and I like it. So it's welded on, just 2 bars across in each direction. This is what the top looks like. I just started grinding down the weld, so this is what the front and the side looks like. And then again, over here, this is what it looks like once you grind it down. So it looks not too bad. It's not as bad as I would have thought. It's not what I was looking for at first, but hey, you roll with it as you go through. So I need to finish grinding down these welds right here, and we can move on from there. Oh, and then I grind it down here. So I'll let all the gaps fill in with the paint. I'm not gonna grind this thing completely flat. I just don't think it matters, so I'm not gonna do it. And but the thing is sturdy. I mean, it just, there's no give, there's no play at all anywhere anymore. Before it wasn't as sturdy, even with the bolts. So I got it welded in pretty good. The only give that you see is in the wheels, you know, as you see. But other than that, it's looking good. All right, I've done as much as I care to do in weld cleaning. So I grinded all that down. I plugged the hole that was right here, plugged that up, so that's good. Other side, and I've shown you the other. So at this point, we have our outer box, and that's where we're gonna put the tent on these poles. I don't plan to have it like super high in the air like some people do. So that's about as high as I want the tent to go. Now I need to build the inner box for all of the storage and stuff like that. And then that way I'll be able to put this back on here. So I think I'm gonna use these poles that I cut. I don't think I... All right, at this point, I have a notch cut out here so that I can add in the hitch. So I have the hitch here. The only thing I plan to put is either this or my bike rack. I don't even have one yet, but I plan to get it. Bike rack. I also, since last I recorded, I have this hole cut out where I'm gonna put the door, but I haven't started building the door yet. I kind of want to get this garage cleaned up a little bit, so I'm trying to get everything off the floor I can. So I decided to move to the hitch. Then I'll go back and fill in the doors and the rest of the framing. I also got this pole here put up to hold the top of this box, but I haven't got the other side up yet. So I'm gonna hold off. Hitch first, other side of this pole next, and then doors after. And those are the hinges I plan to use for it. So we'll keep pushing on. Okay, so got the hitch on. I only plan to have a bike rack or this piece on here, so nothing too heavy. I think I welded it in more than okay, but I put the hitch in here, and then I put 2-inch 2x2 here and here, and then I attached it to these poles that I added in. That didn't come with the trailer. I added it in last iteration, and I just left it for this one. I saw no reason to take them out. So I had that locked into the cross beams that were on here before. So the hitch is on there, and like I said, I'm not gonna have any major weight on there, just the bike rack. And the bike rack is towing, you know, cross bikes, cyclocross bikes, stuff like that. Nothing heavy, road bikes. And then when I welded these in, I actually put them to this bracket across here too. So really the only part I haven't messed with is from this beam, this L bracket to that L bracket, and from that L bracket to that one. So since I don't have anything else, I think when I put the door in here, I'm just gonna add some extra strength in here, and I'm gonna add some extra strength in here. And again, my trailer isn't designed to take off-road. It's just to get to the off-road head, the head of the trail. And then I'm gonna take the gravel bike out, or the cyclocross bike out. I have it covered up so the paint doesn't get messed up from all of the grinders throwing metal shards at it. So I have it covered up at the moment, but there it is. So here we are now. The next thing I need to do is add the beam across here. All right, well, I have the bars in. I put this bar in, welded it on, so I have that sturdiness for the frame. And I put in like my fitting door. It's not perfect, but I'm not a professional, it's just a hobbyist. But when I put this beam in, it was crooked down here. That little mesh really messes with you. So next time I know I just really got to remove all of that. But it's good enough for me. Right, there it is. We have the door in. Like I said, I don't have anything to latch it right now. But I was able to finish up the door. So here it is. This is the back door. It's still drying, so I'm not gonna open it up, but it looks great. It's all completed, and I did it just in time for the storm to hit. So I can tuck this trailer back in the corner. I got my space back. Here's what it looks like from the other side. Considering I needed the space, I started to put stuff in there. I am not using a cooler as my fridge for camping. But so what I decided to do is go with this door where it hinges out like this. So it comes right here, and then it's on that hinge, like I said, and it comes all the way out like that. And then this compartment opens, so now you can get in the side. You won't be locked out of anything that's here. It won't go like this, and then it shuts back. I have to order the latches. I haven't done that yet, but it definitely sits in there pretty nice. And I got it welded in there pretty good. Now this slot here is gonna be the kitchen table. So for that table, I just finished building this, and I welded it up. I still gotta sand it down and whatnot. And that's what the back looks like. There it is. This actually worked out far better than I imagined it would. But I just had, these are old door hinges I took off. I put the auto close on my front door, so I had these laying around, leftover parts. And then you fold the table down. It would be just like this. Now it keeps going because I don't have like a cable or a cord to stretch there and make it stop at the moment. But I'll go pick one of those up or find one on Amazon or something like that. But that's perfect, that's the table. Like I said before, my ARB fridge will slide out from here, be able to pick up anything I want out of it. This is the cooktop where you can put the Cook Buddy stove or whatnot. And that gate will be able to fold out to be my second table if I need it. Or I can just leave it closed if we don't need the space, and we don't need the space. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.